What's up, YouTube? It's the Country CEO coming back to you again with another video. Getting started, performing well in the dump truck business. One of my subscribers had a question a few weeks ago, or maybe even last week, about preventive maintenance on a dump truck. So I'm out here today after I made my day, and I came out while the sun was still fairly up, but down enough to where I wouldn't have a whole lot of glare. Just to give you a few little pointers of things that I've done and looked out for as relates to doing maintenance and preventive maintenance on my trucks. I've been doing this for years, and I believe it'll work for you as relates to doing preventive maintenance to prevent things from happening, but also to take care of your truck in a very nice fashion. If you hear some background noise, that might be cars passing by my house. But that's the name of my company, Seek Ye First Trucking. You see where we at. We located at Clinton, Louisiana. All right. So without further ado, we want to get started just to kind of show you a few things. We're going to go to the compartment here up under the hood. Obviously, that's where you check your oil at. You can see this is a MP7 Mack engine that I have in this particular truck. You can see all of your under components. These are things that you definitely want to check from time to time as you look over your truck on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. You see that's a joint that has to be greased for your drive line. Don't want to forget that. They can freeze up, and that joint can go bad and mess up your drive line, your steering column rather, while you're driving. All right, you can see down a little better. Alternators down there, probably could see that right there. All right, see that black canister? That's where one of the filters goes. All right, and so these are things that I check for, just to kind of look on most days to try to make sure everything is intact. You see my fan right there on the front of the engine. I'm always looking at that, making sure not too many chips, nothing's loose. You know, I might put my hand on it and make sure it's not loose. Also, you can see the belts from this side. Definitely your belts is something that you always want to put your eyes on and see whether or not they're good. There's no stragglers coming from the belt, which will let you know that a belt might be about to go bad. All right. Another thing you need to see is going to be dealing with grease points. One things that's the lifeblood of a dump truck is the fact that it has to be greased, right? And so you can see here your springs, and you can see right there in front, I'm pointing to it. That's a grease point. All right. Then you have your points up underneath here. I'm showing it to you with my gimbal. Grease points right there, slack adjuster, all that stuff. Those definitely have to be greased. All right. And so those are important pieces of your front end suspension that have to be greased on a regular basis. All right, so we're gonna go around to the other side. All right, bring you in here, show you on this side. All right, again, another view, better view of your belts. I'm gonna give you a close-up view, all right, of those belts. All right, front of there. All right, you definitely want to keep a good eye on those. All right, also your turbo, different compartments over here. Also, I don't know if you can see it or not, I'm gonna try to give you a shot of your filters, fuel filters and things on this side. You may be able to see it up under there where my filters at, are on this side. All right, same thing on this side. Just want to check, all right, and be able to look this truck over and make sure that everything is in good working order. That's where I put my coolant in at. All right, and here's one of the most important components a lot of people don't emphasize enough. That's the air filter compartment. Got a little glare there, but that's where the air filter goes. Air filter is your breathing system of the truck. You don't keep that air filter in good shape, that could definitely cause you some problems. An air filter will actually shut a truck down. A lot of guys don't know that, right? All right, obviously those things are important. All right, so that's our under the hood compartment. Obviously, changing oil every 10 to 12,000 miles is kind of like the lifeblood of your truck, just like a car. You want to make sure you're doing that, changing that oil out, changing that air filter out, changing your coolant out perhaps once a year. We call it winterizing. We'll drop that coolant, go in with fresh coolant, those kinds of things that help maintain the life of your truck. All right. So I'm gonna walk to the back here. That's my battery box. Give you a shot also of my air tank. A lot of guys don't emphasize that enough, that your air tanks, you want to make sure that you're bleeding those air tanks on a regular basis. I might can push in here just to show you. Nah, my finger's not strong enough, but y'all, that gets water out of your air system. If your air system is full of water, it can begin to hinder the stopping power of your truck. All right, 2 more air tanks here. This is kind of like what I was talking about here. This one has a little push on it. All right, so you always want to drain your tanks once a week because they do build up water pressure or water in the system. All right, and you can get a good look here. I got my bed up in the air. The sun don't blind you too bad. Let you see, that's my bed up in the air. All right, because I wanted you guys to see this. Obviously, this is a tri-axle dump truck, so as you can see, I got 3 axles. This is the axle that stays up, right? All right, and so here we are at the back of the truck. Important things for the back of the truck. Obviously, your drive line, right? I'm gonna try to give you a picture of that drive line. All right, that drive line runs from the back of your transmission all the way to the back of the truck. All right, you got U-joints, you got your yoke. You definitely want to keep a lot of grease. I grease pretty much in the summertime, every other week, wintertime, about every 2 to 3 weeks, because when it's hot, that grease evaporates a little bit more quickly, but in the winter, not as much. Or I base it on how much I've been working. If the truck has been working really hard, I'll up my times of greasing. But greasing is so important to a truck. So much neglect can happen to a truck when you're not greasing, because then iron is rubbing on iron. Parts wear out because they're not lubricated. Your joints, you can have a bad joint. If you don't grease a joint on a truck, that joint could get dry and then get bad, and then basically come loose, and that drive line could just come up loose up under the truck and tear a whole bunch of stuff up, and you really got a problem then, right? All right, so that drive line is where you want to be greasing. But come on down a little more. On a Mack, in between the tandems, you got this. There's a grease fitting right there in the center. Right there. I'm going to come a little closer. Right there's a grease fitting in the center at the top right there. Not the one on the outside, but at the top right there. You should be able to see it. That's a very important grease fitting, because that greases your trunnion, bushing, and and that suspension on the back, where it takes a lot of working when you're turning and twisting and things of that nature. So you want to make sure that you're greasing that on a regular basis, because that helps with the back of the truck, with its maneuvering and to stay lubricated. All right, now obviously you see tires. That goes without saying. Having proper tread wear on tires affects fuel mileage, affects causing any other kind of damage. These tires they blow huge, and they could really cause a lot of damage to the truck or to somebody's car. So you want to make sure your tires, you're running decent tires. I try to keep decent tires on my truck, because that's one of the things the DOT will definitely stop you for, or shut you down for the day, if they see where they actually measure your tread width. And by state law here in Louisiana, those tires have to be a certain tread length, and if they're not, those guys will shut you down. All right, and so I'm moving to the back of the truck. As you can see, that's one of the pivot points where the bed raises up on the back, and so this is a definite point where you want to make sure that you're greasing. And you can see we try to keep a lot of grease right there, because that bed goes up. That's where it pivots at on the back. All right, and so we come into the back of the truck. Want to show you on top of the tailgate here, grease points up here, right there, and up there, because the tailgate gets a lot of work going up and down, opening and closing. Want to make sure that you're doing some greasing. Just gonna give you a shot of back of my bed. It's not the cleanest, but oh well. Been hauling asphalt this week, then turned around and did limestone toward the end of the week, so it's all right now. All right. So we'll come around behind the back of the truck. All right. I'll show you a few more things. It's talking about preventive maintenance, right? All right. Again, back of the truck on this side. We see where we grease at, those points of the bed. All right. Come on down. I'm on the other side of the truck now. All right. These are things that help to take care of your truck, maintain your truck. And one of the things I like to do is a lot of times I just walk around the truck. We on a job and not doing anything. I'll get out, man, and just walk around looking. And I can't tell you how many times I've caught stuff just when we're on a job and they taking a break or we held up. Shoot, man, I'll let the bed up and I'll just go to looking. And a lot of guys are like, man, what's wrong? What's wrong with the truck? I say, nothing. I said, I'm looking. I said, a lot of times I've learned from an old man in the business that if you walk around and just look, man, you could catch stuff a lot of times before it goes bad. All right. I want to show you something else on this rear end. All right. On the rear end, you can see that little top on top of the rear end right there. Right there. That little top. That's a breather. You want to twist them about once a week, because if you've been in a lot of dirt, those little small breathers right there, it's what allows your rear end to breathe. See those little things? If they get stopped up and clogged up with mud and dirt, they can actually blow a seal on the front of your rear end where you begin to get a leak right on the front. If I can show it to you, the front of the rear end, you can see that. Yeah. Front of the rear end right there. Yeah, right there. That little knob I showed you earlier, it gets clogged and that rear end can't bleed. Well, guess what? The pressure of that oil in your rear end has to go somewhere. So guess what? You'll notice a little leak right around the front of that rear end, all because that knob is clogged, right? Preventive maintenance, right? Little twist of the knob can save you from a $50 seal and another $100 labor charge for somebody to come and put the seal in for you. So, all right? These are small things that can add up to be big things if you're not careful. All right. Just trying to take a look. Obviously, brakes have to be adjusted. This truck is automatic slack adjuster, so I don't have to do any manual adjusting, but some trucks are manual, which basically is a 9/16 wrench that you keep in your truck. Should be a part of your toolbox. That'll probably be another video. What kind of things I should keep in my toolbox. Thank you. All right. But these are the things that you want to keep. But like I say, just when you're on jobs and not doing anything, even if you looked over that truck over the weekend, let that bed up, get out that truck and just look around. And in the truck will tell you, after you've been driving your truck for a while, you become one with that truck. And when you become one with that truck, you can kind of feel when the least little thing, I can tell, since I've been driving this truck for over a year now, I can tell when the least little thing sounds wrong because I'm so in tune with this truck. And so I can hear when the motor's running just a little off, if it's running a little off, or if I hear something in the transmission, just any little thing, because I become one with that vehicle, right? All right, and so I guess this is about it. As you can see, we're a little dirty. I had put some diesel in the back of my bed to help that asphalt come out. All right, so we're a little dirty. Got to get us a wash job. This is the back of the cab. Obviously, good place to look. All right, let me give you a shot of that. You can see that's the airbag for the cab. That's the shock. It's a good place to kind of keep your eye. Now, you see this place where it's a lever. That's transmission fluid. That's where I feel and check the transmission fluid on these automatics. Now, this is an automatic. All right, and Mike, I believe it was asking me about the automatics and the regulars. Man, look, this is my first automatic. I love it. That's another video, right? Because I drove the other trucks for 19 years, and last year was my first year getting an automatic. And I tell you, man, I love it. For a fellow that's getting a little up in age, I'm not old, but I'm no longer young to say I've been doing it 20 years. And I tell you what, this automatic has added a whole lot more strength and longevity and energy at the end of the day with this truck. So perhaps that'll be another video later on. But this is the fuel tank. You see that up under there? That handles my tarp and all that kind of stuff. You always just want to check all your wires. This truck is a DEF truck, so that's my DEF tank. All right, all of that. So and then this is back at the front of the truck. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful about preventive maintenance. Obviously, I think that on the inside of the truck, most of these trucks will tell you if something's going on. Obviously, if you get a message on your message board, definitely is something that you ought to check out. Unless you know that it's nothing to worry about. But with these trucks up to date, last 10 years, so technology is so much so that any little thing goes wrong, everything is pretty much ran by a sensor. So if that sensor is going bad or wrong, it's going to trigger something. All right, and so it'll let you know what's happening with your truck. All right, this is the Country CEO back again, saying to you, if you wanna shine, you sure enough got to grind. This is how I've been grinding for 20 years. Hope this video helps somebody. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, make a comment. We'll be back at you again to bring forth the knowledge about getting started, being successful in the dump truck business. Peace out.